Hey everyone, welcome to Strange Stories, where we explore near-death experiences and supernatural stories from people who've had a glimpse of the other side. If you enjoy our content, please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel. Without further ado, let's get to the story of the day. What you're about to hear is a miracle and accurate to the best of my ability, though no words can convey the intense emotion that I felt. I feel compelled to describe it in the present tense in order to immerse readers in my experience and help them visualize what I was experiencing as it unfolded. Listen slowly and put yourself in my shoes as I take you through my story. This is what happened to me one evening in 1984. My nearly 2-year-old son is fast asleep in his bed. My husband has also retired early. I'm alone in the house, which is still and quiet. I decide to take a shower before going to bed in an attempt to rejuvenate myself from the exhausting worry and tension. I let the warmth of the water hit my face and top of my head for long periods of time, hoping to wash away my grief. I close my eyes and exhale my sadness with long, deep breaths. I'm barely alive because I want to cry, but there are no more tears in the well. I just can't seem to get rid of my hopeless despair of sadness, which has lingered for years. I had squeezed every last drop of pain out of myself until I was completely depleted of energy and emotion. Tonight, I reached rock bottom. For nearly a year, I was completely emotionless, and I saw no way out. My life was devoid of joy. There were only problems all the time. I can't take it any longer, my soul screamed, but I remained silent. After laboriously drying off and donning my nightgown, I immediately check on my son, who is still soundly asleep, and then retire to bed myself. As I sulkily slip beneath a blanket and begin my prayer to God with slow, deliberate words, I still feel alone in my pain. Even though I prayed in silence, each word seemed to take my breath away. I begged God for assistance and explained my situation to Him. I lack enthusiasm, will, and strength to do anything. I feel like a robot inside, so empty. I don't want to speak to anyone. All I want to do is hide and sleep. I'm always tired, and I hate getting out of bed in the morning. I just want to die. I handed over my life to God after I examined how I felt and explained to Him that I didn't know how to get out of the slump of sadness. I know I can't help myself, and the only God can help me because no one else can. Then, as I give up my last weary hope to God, I pray the Lord's Prayer, hoping to fall asleep. My heart is exhausted and empty. I was heavily burdened and hanging on by a thread that was about to snap. I gave everything to God, and my heart was filled with pure need. The next thing I remember is waking up on my knees with my head facing down. What am I doing? I'm not in my bed. I mull over. As I try to remember where I am, my head lifts to see an oaken, wooden door that exudes authority and respect. I noticed there are no knobs as I examined the door, trying to figure out where I am. It had 2 pushed open doors. When my head is straight ahead, I'm instantly standing, but I don't recall using my legs to do so. I peer through the right-hand door, which was a 1 foot high and 2 foot wide window opening. A torrential flow of excitement, joy, and love rushes through me as I gaze through the window at our Father. I immediately recognize Him. As my excitement grows, the nearly 6-inch thick doors invite me inside. As soon as the doors open, I hear music to which nothing else can compare. All other symphonies on the planet pale in comparison. It has the piercing sound of a trumpet, but the notes glide smoothly like a violin and are sweetly pitched like a flute. It's a perfect blend of all these rich sounds. As I focus my attention on the music, it gradually slows down to a soothing lullaby. It has the ability to put any colicky baby to sleep. The result is the most beautiful and soothing song I've ever heard. As I concentrate on the music's mesmerizing beauty, it flows through my body, and I believe I hear it from within my entire being, not just my ears. I'm at a loss for words to describe this sensation of hearing. It is not like normal hearing. It flows through me like wind and appears to sense my emotions. As I listened and focused on the melody, I noticed that the music began bursting forth with loudness and excitement, just as I had felt when first seeing our Father. This music became a dance between my thrilling, excited emotion and a calming effect that brought me peace. It was breathtaking. Next, I concentrate on how bright my surroundings are, as if I'm inside the sun, surrounded by whiteness. Imagine being inside a light bulb where the brightness does not hurt or cause you to squint. This is even more brilliant. I can see every detail with great clarity and sharpness. The emphasis is on accuracy and perfection. I'd never seen anything with such precision and clarity before. Then I notice how good I feel. I'm overjoyed. There's no discomfort. In some ways, my body feels light and free. Others' presence is felt to my left and behind me. I can feel their affection and satisfaction for me radiating from their hearts. I can actually feel their joy and admiration for me without even looking at them. I can feel their smiles, but I can't take my gaze away from our Father to look at them. I'm assuming I'll get a chance to look at the others later. I just want to see God now. Nothing else is important to me. He sits on a glorious throne in front of me. He's stunning, magnificent. I've never witnessed anything so breathtakingly beautiful. How can I possibly describe His majesty and joy? There are no words to describe His majesty. I am speechless with awe and wonder. My heart is overflowing with joy and love, and my cup runs over. I can't stop myself from crying as I gaze upon Him. His face aglow with rosy cheeks and shining skin glistening with the glow of perfect health. He's not what I was expecting to see. I imagined Him to be like Moses, with a long, shaggy white beard. With His majesty, He is very modern and up-to-date. His hair is perfectly white and neat, as if he just left the barber shop. He's flawless in every way. That is stunning. He's dressed in white, that is as white as light. I look at Him and know without a doubt that He is our Father, and His name is an all-encompassing concept that I'm familiar with. He's our Creator, the source of all things. God nods to me as I stand in awe of His presence, and I enthusiastically lunge straight forward, unhindered, through the air as if I can fly. I don't feel my legs, but I'm not worried because I'm gliding straight ahead. I never looked to the left or right. I jumped into His arms and embraced Him in pure love. The happiness is beyond anything I could have imagined or felt before. The music became as loud and vibrant as before, and I see myself with 3 perspectives darting from one to another, then another, around and round like a spinning top. All 3 perspectives dart from one to the other so quickly that I feel dizzy. I see myself embracing Him on His chest, looking into His face only inches away, and watching from behind myself as our embrace is in full view. What is the nature of this experience? The views keep spinning faster than I can keep up with. This is unlike anything I've ever seen. As I pondered this, the merry-go-round of perspectives came to a halt. I feel like I just got off a thrilling roller coaster, only this thrill was much more intense. As we embrace, I sense an electric charge within Him. He embraces me back with His arms. There is no way I could be happier than I am right now. I'm surrounded by divine love. We hug for what seems like 30 seconds, and I never want to leave Him. Then I realized that all of my trials and tribulations had been worth it. I can't put into words how intense my emotions are. This is pure ecstasy. I'm amazed that he let me, a mere speck of dust, hug him. Wow, who am I for him to allow me to touch him? How is this possible? Now I understand how much God loves each and every one of us, no matter how insignificant or prominent we may be in our earthly lives. It is beyond my comprehension that he would perform such a miraculous feat for me. But then I began to wonder aloud. I must have died because I am truly in heaven. But how did I perish? Oh no, it had to be instant. Like a bomb. Oh no, the populace, the planet. Is everyone dead? A bomb must have killed us all. My heart sinks with compassion for what I thought had died. I start to have doubts about the people. God knew how I felt, so he gently stretched out his arm while still holding me with the other, like a loving father, and said to me, "Everything is all right." His voice is perfect and calming, and I know right away that people are safe with God as he assures me that everything will be fine. I stop worrying, but I still believe that the world I knew is no longer there. I have a feeling it is time for me to go with a man I hadn't noticed before, who sits by God's side. I'm not surprised by his sudden appearance. It is unknown why he's there, but his physical appearance is similar to someone I knew on Earth. I find it strange that he only looks like the person, but does not feel the same way. This man, who appears unexpectedly, appears to have been watching us throughout my entire visit, but with no expression on his face. I can't feel anything from him, but I remember feeling love radiating from others around us that I didn't get to see. This man rose to his feet and extended his right hand to me. I know I'm supposed to accompany him, and I'm hoping he'll take me to where I belong in heaven. I slowly rise, moving away from God, and take hold of this man's hand. Even before I touched his hand, I felt myself return to my earthly body. My body is lying face up on my bed. I feel my soul instantly pass through my chest and disperse throughout my entire body. I flow like liquid into my fleshy arms, down to my fingertips, and into my legs, all the way down to my toes. I lie in bed for about 30 seconds and feel my skin surround me as if I were enclosed in a body glove or a molded cage. My body is my container, a shell that protects my spirit. I can feel them both separately as I tingle with heat. Then my body and soul merge into me. It absorbs water like a sponge. My body merges with my soul. I lay there wide awake, alert and ecstatic. My heart is still racing from ecstasy. I would not have reached for that man's hand if I had known I would return to this body on earth by touching it. Why didn't God warn me before I left him? I believe I was meant to return to earth because if I had known, I would have refused to go. But why was I returned? There had to be a reason for me to return. When I look to the left, I see my husband sleeping. As I try to acknowledge my earth coming, I wonder what time it is. I get out of bed to look at the clock on my dresser, and it is then that I realize my eyesight has returned to the point where I require glasses. The clock's lighted digits read 4 a.m. I lay back down in bed, stunned and amazed at what had just happened to me. I couldn't keep myself together because I was so nervous. Please, God, let me be with him. I can't keep it together. I have to tell everyone how wonderful our God is. I wanted to scream from the top of mountains. It is written in the Bible, they were to seek God and perhaps touch and find him. Acts chapter 17, verse 27. It is conceivable. Now I understand what the scriptures meant when they said to see things we can't see, hear things we can't hear, and imagine things we can't imagine. These verses are coming to life for me. I understand what they were saying. People do not understand the depth of the scriptures, despite the fact that they contain the truth. I went over to my husband and told him everything you just read. I told him that I'd seen, heard, and felt things that people on Earth do not. I had a more in-depth and rich sensory perception, as well as a heightened reality. It was the epitome of liberation. My presence in heaven was truer, beyond all comparison, than my life on Earth. I knew with an overwhelming conviction. I now understand that I was in the spirit and that my body has bound me to the earth. It is my vessel, and I'm bound to the world in captivity. This is what it means to liberate the captives. This was not a nightmare. How can a dream perceive what our bodies on earth cannot? How can a dream have such an impact on me that it completely changes my life? God had healed my depression. He removed it and replaced it with love and new life. I felt love so deep that I've never known in our earthly realm. Everything is fine, and I can go about my business with renewed vigor.